Hey, what is up guys? Today we are going to be talking about Toons in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! If you guys didn't know, they are getting some support in Duelist of Destiny version, I don't know, version 1, Collector's Pack. But anyways, this comes out in the OCG next month, so we might not get this for a while. We're just getting, you know, the superstars. So hopefully we'll get this relatively soon. This is still going to be something that is pretty cool because, you know, it's one of those fan favorite archetypes, and also Red Eye support is basically coming here. A lot of crazy stuff is coming in this new Duelist of Destiny. But anyways, like I said, it doesn't come out for a while in the OCG, so we might not get it for quite some time in the TCG. But it's always good to, you know, kind of just know what we have, and obviously if you play online, we'll get these relatively soon. So, if you guys don't know what Toons are, they are an archetype that is based around having this card called Toon World up. Now, Toon World, it's not a very good card. Let me actually go to Toon World. It's you pay 1,000 life points to activate this card. And a lot of cards just require you to have Toon World, or if it gets destroyed, then you destroy all your monsters. Like, there's a lot of downsides to it. Now, the newer Toon monsters won't be destroyed if Toon World is destroyed. So that's definitely a plus. Like, they're trying to make it a little bit better, which obviously it needs to happen, because this archetype is really, really bad. But looking at the future, I think this deck is looking pretty good. But anyways, let's check out the first card that I want to talk about, which I really feel like makes the deck so much better. So this is Toon Kingdom. It's a field spell, and as soon as it's activated, you get to banish the top 3 cards of your deck face down. Its name becomes Toon World while it's on the field. Toon monsters you control can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects, which is a pretty good effect. And then also, in addition to that, if a Toon monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can banish 1 card for each of those monsters from the top of your deck face down instead. So basically, as long as you get your Toon monsters out, they're not going away, because obviously they can't target them, and if they're going to destroy them by battle or by card effects, you just prevent them from being destroyed. Now, they all also have the ability to attack directly unless your opponent is also playing Toons, but, you know, that's probably not going to happen unless, you know, Toons, of course, just somehow become meta. But yeah, I really feel like this makes the deck so much better. Next up, we have like a Toon Ancient Gear Golem. All these Toons also have the effect that they can't attack during the turn that they're summoned. And then if you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, they can attack your opponent directly. This one has the effect of, I believe, like the same one as like Ancient Gears, where like if it attacks, your opponent can't activate any spell or traps until the end of your damage step. And if it attacks a defense position monster, you get to inflict piercing. It's got 3,000, but there's no way to just summon this card really easily. There's also this card, which I think makes the deck a little bit better too. It's called Comic Hand. You can only equip to your opponent's monster while you control Toon World, which obviously Toon Kingdom counts as Toon World while it's up on the field. And then that monster that you steal can then attack directly. So not only do your monsters not die, but then you're going to be using a card that is technically banned, which is like Snatch Steal. And it doesn't really have that downside. Obviously, it does have actually another different downside, though. If there is no Toon World on the field, destroy this card. So instead of them MSTing this card, they'd obviously probably get rid of Toon Kingdom, and then you would then lose your Comic Hand anyways. But as far as the Toons go, these ones are really old over here. There are a few older ones that I think are okay. These ones you have to tribute for, so I don't really think that these are going to be seeing any play, unless, of course, there's some other cards that combo with it. This card can be okay. It's like one of those, like the giant orcs, when they attack, they go to defense position. And again, they all have that same effect where they can't attack during the turn it is normal summon, flip summon, or special summon. They all have that effect. Some of them also have the effect if Toon World is destroyed, you have to destroy it. Like I said, the newer cards don't have this. We don't really need to go over these. I feel like these are pretty much irrelevant. This one, I forgot what it does. It can attack directly. They all have that effect. Okay, this one you have to pay 500 points to declare an attack, and I think, yeah, Blue Eyes also has that effect. I didn't read these cards because I know that they're not, like, very good, if I remember correctly, yeah. And then Toon Dark Magician gets a boost if you're playing Dark Magicians. And then Toon Goblin Attack Force just moves itself to defense position after it attacks. And then you can't change it until, like, the end of your next turn. Now, as far as the guards that I think that will make this deck a little bit better, Toon CyberDragon, this one's actually a new card. It just, if your opponent controls a monster you don't control any, you get just special summon. Again, you can't attack during the turn it is summoned, but, you know, next turn, you're just going to be able to attack directly, and on top of that, they can't get rid of this card, more than likely, unless they are, of course, getting rid of the Toon Kingdom. And then we have Toon Mass Sorcerer. Again, some of the newer ones, they don't have that effect where they would be destroyed if Toon World is destroyed. And the next card I want to talk about is Toon Sorcerer. So he's able to attack your opponent directly. Again, you can't attack during the same turn that they were summoned. But every time he inflicts battle damage to your opponent, and that's pretty much every turn, you get a draw card. So it helps you kind of, get free draw power, I guess, in the deck. And there's also Toon Gemini Elf. When it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, they have to discard one random card from their own hand. So that's pretty good. And then Toon Mermaid. It just says that it can't be normal summon or set. It says it can be only special summon while you control Toon World. It doesn't really have a good effect. You have to pay 500 to declare the attack. Then it does have that downside where if Toon World is destroyed, you have to destroy this card. But this one's a little bit an older card. I thought, well, maybe if you can just special summon it, you could at least try to exceed in the deck, rather than just only having normal summons in the special of Toon Cyberdragon. But overall, I think it's not that great, but I think it's better than some of these other ones because you have tribute for these. Like I said, it just adds the ability to go into your extra deck in the Toons. This one's a little bit of an older card, but there are a lot of crazy FTKs with Cannon Soldier anyways, but he's just able to tribute one monster on your side of the field to inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent, and it has 1400 attack, and of course they all attack directly. So the way I see the deck running, if it ever becomes, popular at the moment of right now, because we don't know what's coming out in the future for it, maybe there's going to be some cards that make the Archetype actually strong, but I feel like Toon Kingdom is actually not bad. I really wanted to test this out on DevPro, but unfortunately, I feel like all I really need is Toon Kingdom, and I can make this deck viable. Although I was thinking about playing Monarch Stormforth, other cards to kind of support the Toons, but I feel like Toon Kingdom is really what makes the deck. And obviously, I'd play 3 copies of Terraforming. All I want to do is just have a monster that I can summon and prevent it from being destroyed, and I just keep on attacking directly. And obviously, your opponent will be doing less damage than you, and it doesn't really matter what your opponent has on board. I don't think they're going to be able to stun your normal summons unless they're going to be running cards like Mirror Force and stuff like that. But even then, I don't even think it's good because, again, you're attacking directly, and if your card's going to be destroyed, you just Toon Kingdom effect, just keep on banishing cards. Maybe you'll deck yourself out. I doubt it, though. I feel like this deck is not too bad. Like I said, it all comes down to what other support we get for the Archetype, but I think that it definitely can be a decent deck because, like I said, if I'm able to have one monster out and Toon Kingdom, and if you don't get rid of Toon Kingdom, I can consecutively just sit there and attack you directly and my monsters don't die, that's not too bad. Obviously, if you look in the metagame, yes, of course, they're just going to get rid of Toon Kingdom. Some of your monsters might die because, that card counts as Toon World and it is being destroyed. But, actually, I'm not sure if that would actually apply, because this card is still technically Toon Kingdom. It only becomes Toon World while it's on the field, but if it's destroyed, yeah, like I said, the older cards will have that effect. So I feel like the newer stuff probably won't have that effect anyway, so you probably won't have to worry about that. But I feel like if you play against the meta, all they're going to do is get rid of your Toon Kingdom, and then your deck's going to fall apart relatively quick. Kind of like how, if you got rid of Dragon's Ravine against Dragoonies, they didn't have plays, and that was kind of a problem, especially now with only the one Ravine and stuff like that. Deck not doing so hot, but I think that this deck can be okay, like I said. It all comes down to what we get in the future, and they have one of the best searching cards, I think, in the game, which is Toon Table of Contents. You'd add one card from your deck to your hand that includes Toon in its card name or his name, Manga Ryuran, which probably won't be played anyways, but the ability just to add any monster or any Toon support, spell, and trap. I'm not sure if this card will count. Maybe it's just the translation over here. It might not be actually called Comet Can. Maybe it'll be called what is it? Toon Comet Can. I don't know. I feel like if you have a searchable Snatch Steal, that is pretty amazing, especially if it's at 3. You can just keep on stealing your opponent's monsters. Obviously, you'll have your stuff. But I'd like to know, guys, what other cards do you think would actually support this Archetype? I know there's Toon Defense, but I don't think this card's really necessary, so you guys don't know what this does. I actually read all the Toon cards except for these ones here, because I remember them when I was really little, and they're not very good at all, because you still have to tribute. I like how it says, but tributes are required if it's level 5 or higher, and yeah, of course, Monarch Stormforth can't be used, but I feel like they don't really have effects, and that's kind of the problem. These newer ones, they just summon themselves. This one is getting that draw power, but it only has 900 attack. But for the sake of having draw power, it's not the end of the world. Like I mentioned before, maybe you can go ahead and you can normal this, you special the Toon Mermaid over here, and you get that free draw on real quick, and then you exceed into something. Hopefully, to protect the Toon Kingdom. I was thinking maybe like Key Beetle would be a card to make, because this card is technically dark, although this one is, I think Key Beetle, if I remember correctly, it does require, yeah, it does require dark monsters. But if you can make this and just protect the Toon Kingdom, I think that this deck could maybe be okay. But yeah, like I said, it all comes down to what other support. But like I said, let me know in the comment section below what other cards do you think could actually support this archetype, because it's kind of an interesting archetype. It just direct attack, and then like you can't kill my monsters. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Azneyes signing out.